Hello, it's Joe Lyons, and I wanted to show you an example of a script I wrote to help me import and merge files in SPSS. So let me first pop open this FDIC data file. So I'm going to choose paste here, and now it's going to come up with this preview window. It looks like here we go. And it says, does this match any of the format? No, it doesn't. Yes, the variable names are at the top. It's delimited. And the next one, I almost never look at these because they're almost always the same. But it's not space limit, it's just comma. Double quotes. If you saw earlier, there were quotes in the file. I'm just going to hit next. And now in this view, I can go in and I can say, oh yeah, this is a numeric variable, and this one is, let's see, where here is a string, and I can set the string width to 65 or whatever I want, right? But I have to go through each one of these if I want to do it here, which is tedious. And of course, I don't think many people, unless it's 5 variables, are using this window. But what I want to show you here is, okay, I'm going to paste this. I don't care about that right now. And when I hit finish, so it dumps it in here. But what I typically end up doing is, just let me tidy this up a little bit and make some space so we can focus on the stuff that I want to feature here. So this F, and I know at some point I remembered what F meant. I know it's for a number, so it's going to be a numeric variable starting off at 5 wide. It really does. This number doesn't matter. It helps with the column width some, but it doesn't really matter. This is how many decimal places, right? So you can have 1, 3, 8. Of course, you got to have this wider than this, but it takes a while to go through and first off find all the numeric variables, and then change them if I want a default of 0 for all of them, regardless, because a lot of times SPSS thinks it knows, oh, you want decimal places here. And sometimes I don't. And here it looks like we have about 60 variables. And, it's a tedious process. The other thing is I got a lot of string variables, and just sometimes spotting which ones I want to change. And also, what I have found is the actual file size. It doesn't matter if you make this 2000 or 10. The file size doesn't change, so it doesn't really affect that. The column widths will get affected by it, but who cares about that, because you can adjust that pretty easily. And then also, when I'm going to merge these files, like let's say I have name here, or city is a great example, right? I'm going to merge this with a data file, and I want to use city in both, and I'm using that as my key or something. They have to be the same width in SPSS, which just drives me crazy, because sometimes you have them in one file as 65 and the other one is 60. Because of the cities that read in first, and SPSS doesn't do a good job of just allowing you easily, unless you use that of the window. And of course I can go through and change these, right? But what I wrote a script was, let me get rid of that. So I wrote a script where I can come in here and highlight all I want, and I'm going to hit a button, and it's going to say, okay, how wide do you want the string? I should probably uppercase that, all string variables be set. I have a default here to show 999 just because it helps me remember what I need to enter, if I need to enter the A999 or not. So I'm just put 999. And then what do I want the numeric variables to be set to? And for this example, I'll say 6.1, right? And I can hit a button, and bam, it does two things, which I really like. Is it went through, identified all the string and numeric variables, and I'm not sure, I think there was an extra space at the beginning of this one. It for all the numerics, it set them to 6.1 for the numerics. And notice also, I aligned it where it'll be really easy for me to go here and see, hey, these are the numeric variables, because they're lined up, and the string variables are here, and notice they're all at A999, right? And it lines them up, so it makes it very easy for me to skim through here and go, I know it was a numeric variable somewhere up in here. Oh, I know it's between these, and it just, I think to me, it makes it much easier to follow. And then the other thing it did was it added this var width all to 15. So now, if I run this, and I can stop here. Hopefully you know that enough about syntax. I don't have to go all the way to the top, because it's everything down to that first period. I'm going to run this, and of course nothing worked. But it does work. I have used it before. Let me pause here for a second. Okay. When I was hitting around, I had hit a period in here, and it was freezing it from loading the whole thing. So now when I run this, it'll import it, and notice now all of the numerics are set. The width is 6, the decimals are 1, the strings are 999, and when we go to this view, the default width is all been shrunk because, let me go back to my example here. Let's say we'll make this 5 instead, and I run that. Notice how narrow the columns are, right? That's the code that'll make it. It says var width, set the var width, all of the column widths. Let's change this to the other view. In here, see where it says columns are 5, right? So that's what this one line of code here. I'll put it back to 15, run it. When you go back here and look, these are now all 15, and so when you look at it this way, it will set them at 15. But anyway, it allows me to easily. Let me see if I can go and undo. I think I can come here and undo my stuff. Okay, let me find that. Okay, and then no. Let's just try that. All right, I'll come back in here and I'm gonna rerun my script, and I'm gonna say, let's just make this 60 and 5.0. And now I've adapted it now where, looks like I gotta update my code here. It did the 5.0, but something was wrong in my input. It didn't re-grab the new 60. So that's, you know what, let me, since this isn't too long of a video, let's take a quick look at it and see if we can't fix this. Edit the script. No, I don't want to update. So this is where I'm telling the default, the A length here. Oh, that's why. I had hard-coded these earlier, and I happened to just keep the default that I had done. So now I'm going to save this, reload it, go back into here, hit undo a couple times, highlight all of this. What do I want to change it to? 60 and 5.0. And now we're at 60. Notice the different columns. What also I did was I looked, by the way, I looked for the widest string variable, added a few more to it, and then if it was a numeric one, I added some extra, and that's how I made these in separate columns. It made it pretty easy. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that. Thank you. Bye.